Yeah, I'm Adriana, and I'm making a quick video today to show you how to use library databases. We are on the library's website, lib.utah.edu, and before we jump to the databases, which are right down here, a couple things I do want to point out. At the top of the page, you'll find a guide that will give you information to questions you might have regarding our temporary closure because of the COVID-19 virus. And I'll probably come back to that a little bit later, maybe in a different video. The other thing I want to point out is this huge search box in the middle of the page. The temptation is going to be really great to search for articles here, and you totally can. But our library catalog, which is what you would be searching here, you search catalog, only interacts with a handful of our databases. So instead, we'll go to the Databases tab. This is the portal to all of our databases. We subscribe to somewhere around 400 or so, and you can select databases by title, so the first initial, by subject or field of study, or by type of information. So if you're looking for newspapers or images or statistical data, whatever type of information you might need, we're hoping you'll find in this list. One really cool thing is we also have, like, under trials for databases that we're giving a shot right now. So feel free to check those out some other time. For this tutorial, I'm going to cover one database. I'm going to go to our Gender Studies Guide, or collection of databases, I should say. We do have a Gender Studies Guide, but that's a totally different thing. Anyway, these are all of the databases that I, your subject librarian, have determined with the help of our electronic resources folks are relevant to studies or research connected to gender studies. So because gender studies and ethnic studies and lots of the subjects that we study in the School of Cultural and Social Transformation are interdisciplinary, you're going to find a pretty broad swath of coverage under these databases for gender studies. At the top, I'm going to zoom back up there. Up at the top, you'll find the one that is recommended by me, your subject expert librarian. But you don't have to use that one. We invite you to explore lots of databases and reach out for help if you run into any confusion or bumps in the road or questions. That's what we're here for. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to not the EBSCOhost databases specifically. I'm going to pick a different database, actually. Let's look at one that is discipline specific, GenderWatch. This one's a really great database. The years of coverage are pretty modern, contemporary. And you have a full text collection here of journals, magazines, newsletters, and other ephemera. I'm going to do a search here in the great big search box. So unlike the library's main website, hit it when you see this big search box. And let's see, I'll do a search for a topic that came up recently in one of the classes that I attended in the spring semester. Let's see, domestic labor. That's a pretty big, broad search, and normally I would call that a really crappy search. But because I want to show you the breadth of this database, I decided to go big. So for domestic labor, I'm going to give you an overview of the results that we received. first thing I always recommend is to check the number of results you got. 1,277 results is kind of a big number for a database. If you are willing to look at that number of titles, awesome. Otherwise, we have these limiting menus in the left-hand margin here that might be really useful. These results are by default sorted by relevance, but you can also sort them according to publication date. That'll mix things up a little bit for us. And below that, you can even limit to just full text or just peer-reviewed. Notice that some of these results do not have full text connected to them, either in HTML or a PDF, like this first result here. Instead, it has a Find It button, and this is really interesting and a good reason to actually leave this unchecked. I do want to show you the impact it has when you check it. Did reduce our results pretty considerably. We went down to, well, actually not that considerably. We just went down by a few. So let's go back to that previous page, and I want to show you what the Find It button does, because I know that you all know what it does when I click on full text here or here. But what does it do when I click on Find It? What it does is it checks all of our other databases to see if maybe that article is available through one of them. That way you don't have to go wandering aimlessly through our databases or someday through our stacks in our physical library to get the materials that you need. Gosh, this is lots of anticipation. Here we go. Hooray! Check this out. Full text is available, and if I scroll down just a little bit, I can view it here through either of these databases. So that is really cool. I'm going to go back to Gender Watch to show you what else we can do here. So I have limited it to full text. I can limit to peer-reviewed, but if you are not required to have sources that are peer-reviewed and you're just required to have sources that are scholarly, you don't need to click that box. Because while those two are related, they're not exactly synonymous. But let's say I do want to look at only peer-reviewed journals. We can do that. Journal articles, I should say. And let's see where our results go from 1277 to, dang, 641. That's still kind of a lot. So I have a hot tip for you. 641 results is a lot, and the reason I say that is because I'm not willing to look at 641 titles or 641 abstracts unless I'm on Netflix or Hulu or something. But again, this little refinements menu can help us out. Say I want to tighten up the publication date range and only look at the most recent results. So say, wow, 2020 to 2029 is out there. Let's look at stuff that's current though. I'm going to go with, and I can explain that, I promise, the past 10 years instead. So let's see. Ah, shoot, it doesn't want to do it for me. Sometimes that happens. I'm not going to scrap this video. We'll just keep going and see if I can fix it. Let's try entering a date range instead. So let's say I want to go back to 2015, January 1st. Gosh, this thing is really messing with me today. To here. Let's say that to May 4th. Why not? That's pretty current. I'm going to hit the update button and cross my fingers and hope that it works. And Oh my goodness, it actually did something really wacky there. Gave us 3 results. That's pretty unusual. But these are all scholarly results. These fall within my publication date range guidelines, and they're on topic. 3 seems kind of like a dismal number of results, but if any one of those results ends up being the most perfect article for your research, then it's awesome. Likely, this isn't going to cut it because I started out super duper broad. So let's scrap this search and we're going to do another search. Let's change things up a little bit. Let's do domestic labor and look up heterosexuality or heterosexual couples. Let's see anything that begins with domestic labor and heterosexual. I put an asterisk at the end of the word there so it looks up anything like multiple word endings. So heterosexual, heterosexuals, heterosexuality. And then I'm going to hit the search button. Let's see what happens. We went from 500 and something results to 147. That's not bad. That's pretty dope, actually. Looking at my results list, it looks like, oh, it changed my publication date range. I'm going to fix that, broaden it up a bit. There we go. We've got 147 results, and they all meet my guidelines. So if I click on the title of an article, instead of just going directly to the full text, the great thing that it does is it takes me to the abstract. Why is that useful? Well, if I don't want to read pages 491 through 514 in order to determine if this article is going to be relevant to my research question, and instead read an abstract, that might save me some time. So, hot tip there for being a little bit more efficient. That's kind of awesome. The last thing I want to show you about this database that makes me really, really love it, you can download stuff as PDFs if they are available in full text. You can email them to yourself, which is super helpful, which will include the full text. You can also include a bibliography with citations at the end, and this is the best part, you can select a citation style and it will send you a citation. So I'm going to email this to myself. Maybe. I'm going to give it my best try because typing in front of, I don't know, all 2 of you who are watching, this might, I don't know, it makes me nervous. Anyway, you can send this stuff to yourself, and it's amazing. I may actually get that email while we're still doing this video. So that's it for this database. Check it out. Check this out. It came in while we were still making the video. That's so cool. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for staying with me. I know this wasn't the most exciting thing you could do with your time, but if you are a University of Utah student in the School of Cultural and Social Transformation, or if you're just a student anywhere, I am happy to help. Please feel free to consider me your personal librarian and reach out to me. My email address is adriana.parker@utah.edu, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for your patience with my limited technology abilities.